Alright, g'day guys, welcome back to another episode. I've just pulled up to the beach. I'm out kayaking around this island at the moment. We got the dive gear. I'm not too sure what I'm going to bump into, but as you can see the water is super clear. Absolutely littered with jellyfish, which means there's probably a good oceanic current coming through. We've had some bad weather, so not that many people would have been out here the last few days. This is the first good day, so hopefully the fish are hungry and want to come visit. Just paddling around the dive spot and look what I just found. Baby John Dory. That's pretty fresh. All the guts have been eaten out of it. Cleaned out, absolutely cleaned out. There's a beautiful chicken nugget there. I'd be tempted to eat it, but I just don't know how it died, so I think I might just use it as burley. Alright guys, first drop of the day. Just got to make sure the old carcass is working as it should. The ears are working, the lungs are working, and just get myself calm and into the zone before I start the hunt. As you can see, super clear. This drop, not much going on, but as I said before, it's just a warm up, so hopefully soon we'll get into the action. So moving on around the corner, I came across this big patch of squid. This isn't a super common sight for us in Nelson, but this time of year we do see a few of them. So I made sure I try to close the gap and hopefully bring one home for dinner. On the drop I noticed that they were kind of wary, staying on the edge of the viz, staying on the outer distance, and just as it got close enough I kind of got sidetracked by these leather jackets. And by the time I'd taken my focus back to the squid, they'd disappeared, so I had to give it another crack. I stayed in visuals from the surface so I didn't lose them, and made another drop. Same again, just staying out of distance, and I didn't want to lose this opportunity, so I went for the long shot. I absolutely love eating squid. It's a great table species, and when I see them, I always try and get one. I tried to stay in contact with the school, but after all that ink and commotion on that first one, they were pretty timid after that, so I couldn't quite close the gap. I was trying to chase them down and they led me into this landmine of jellyfish. They were just absolutely everywhere, so I got smart to them and decided to head to the surface and nearly swam right into one. Moving on, found a bit of fishing line, so did my bit and picked up the fishing gear. Still pretty fresh, not much rust on it. So good little soft bait, and I don't really fish soft baits, so I just decided to give it to the next person I saw fishing, and it happened to be this guy. Hey mate, do you fish soft baits? Do you fish soft baits? Yeah, I just found it on 4, so you might as well have it. Yeah, sweet. Moving on, it was time to burley up that John Dory that I found earlier. Now, I didn't feel good about doing this, but as I said before, I don't know how it died, so I just didn't want to risk it. But it's definitely the first time I've ever burleyed up a John Dory. I don't think I'll be doing that anytime soon. Nice deep patch of water here, and I haven't really dived here before, but there seem to be some fish hanging around. Most probably because of the burley that I deployed, but nonetheless there was a bit of bait fish, a bit of action, so I decided to make a few drops. There was some small snapper on the edge of the vis line, small tarakihi, and lots of bait fish around. I did see a big John Dory come in for a sec, but he soon disappeared off into the gloom on the bottom, and I couldn't quite track him down, but I did give it a crack, and I wasn't successful on that one. There was a nice school of trevally with me here, only small ones, but still nice to swim with, and I was hoping that they'd bring in a kingfish. The burley did bring in a seal though, not the target species, but I'm sure they'd go good on the barbie. Not long after that I spotted this workup in the distance, so I made a straight beeline towards it, because I know that where there's action like that, there's got to be some predatory fish hanging around. When I got closer, I realised it was a school of kahawai boiling up on the surface and frantically feeding on a smaller fish species. As I got further and further into the school, it just got more and more hectic. The fish really didn't mind me being there, and they were just feeding hard. So I made a couple of shallow drops just to see if there was anything below them, and just played the game of patience. I knew there'd be something hanging around with all this commotion, so it's just a matter of time. Kahawai suddenly changed behaviour and they all started swimming towards me, and there was a good sign to make a quick drop, and this guy came cruising in. Hit him mid-ship and nailed it. Great holding shot. I thought I hurt the fish initially, but you just see it absolutely plough off into the depths. Regardless of the size, this was the hardest kingfish I've ever caught. It was absolutely towing me along, straight towards shore. and I was not getting any line back on this. You can see those particles in the water racing past me. I was just getting towed through the water. There was nothing I could do here. I tried gaining line, but it was just, this fight was too strong and I didn't want it to rip off. So I just let him do his initial run before I started trying to gain line back. Kahawai still going hard, they weren't phased by it all. The fish was tiring out now. It was towing me back into the shallows, so I decided to employ a tactic I call walking the dog. This is when you just keep pressure on the fish and guide it towards shore. The reason I was doing this, I wanted to get it out of deeper water, and I wanted to be in an area where I could see the bottom clearly, so I could see a shark. If it was to happen, I could get a bit of a warning before it came up underneath me. In doing so, I swam into another minefield of jellyfish, so not only was I fighting a kingfish, I was dodging stings at the same time. Pretty challenging. Not the biggest fish, but man did it put up a hell of a fight. Absolutely awesome. Quickly got a knife in it, put it out of its misery and bled it out. Whew. Nice. Alright guys, we got a kingy. I'm stoked with that. Absolutely beautiful day. It's so clear out there. I've never seen it that clear out here. Close to 20 meters viz. And it made it quite hard because all the fish are really wary, but it was great for exploring. Usually I just go to the same spots, but this time I just swam around exploring new areas, finding new fish, and came across a workup just outside of where I was, so I swam out to it. Kahawai feeding hard on the surface, made a couple dives, and this guy came cruising in, swung around and nailed him right in the body. Still had a lot of power left in him, and it was a hell of a fight. Dragged him all the way back to the beach to get him out of the deep water, try and keep him away from the sharks, and managed to land him. I'm absolutely bloody stoked with that. There's an awesome fish. I'll have to weigh it when I get home, but it's definitely the biggest one this season. I'm bloody stoked because I put a lot of hard work since I got those first ones to try and get another one. And I just love hunting kingfish. I bloody love it. Yeah, boy. Absolutely bloody stoked with that. Alright guys, it's lunchtime. I'm bloody starving. Let's get out of here. Let's go cook up a feed. Let's go and get the girls and we'll all have some food together. Celebrate this kingfish. Gonna start paddling back around the corner now, get back to the truck, and we'll see you back at my place. Alright, so we've got a kingfish on the smoke. We're about 2 hours in at this point, and I'm aiming for the 3-hour mark. So it's time to get the squid prepped. Now we've got our squid, and we're going to make a stuffed squid recipe. So I've got some rice on the boil. I've just chopped up some veggies and herbs out of the garden, and we're going to clean the squid out and prep it for stuffing. First thing I want to do is take the head off and tentacles, chop them up, dice them up, and fry them up with the stuffing, and pull out all the guts. So that's like the structure of the squid. Once it's clean, we want to take the skin off. So I usually leave it in the fridge overnight, and then the skin just peels off. Alright, so while that fish is smoking, we're going to fry up some of the stuffing for the squid. Next thing we're going to do is stuff our tube. Now this will contract a bit when it's cooking, so you don't want to overstuff it. You're probably wondering, what am I stuffing the squid with? It doesn't matter, you can use anything. I used a mixture of rice, capsicum, shallots and garlic, and the squid tentacles and wings itself. So there's our stuffed squid. Then what we're going to do is stitch it up with either a toothpick or a skewer. And that there is a stuffed squid. We'll trim these off and brown it up. Oil on the squid and chuck it in there. Alright, once it's browned all over, it's cooked. You don't want to overcook it because it will go rubbery, and that's why you cook the inside first. Alright, so that's it for the kingfish. Let's pull it out and have a taste test. Kingfish sashimi, smoked kingfish belly flat, stuffed squid, and some cucumber and mint sauce that was picked from the garden. Look at that, absolute juiciness. Yeah, kingfish, great for content and real fun to hunt, but the real star of the show is this squid here. Absolutely delicious, and I mean, just look at it. The only bad thing about it is I only had one. Wish I got more, but oh well, next time. Alright guys, I'm going to sit here and finish my lunch. Once again, thanks for watching. I hope you liked this one. If you did like it, give it a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And we'll see you in the next video, which hopefully isn't far off.